friends start getting full-time job.
Yeah,
Then
correct.
they were like, I'm eating prata for lunch because I can't afford it. At that moment, we actually had the thought of
Giving up.
closing. So some people even thought that we are scam school.
Alright, welcome back to this Inspiring Tale channel. We are here today with the co-founder of Aviation Flight School, Faris. Maybe you can actually introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Faris. I am 31 years old and I'm the co-founder for Aviation. The other founder, she's not able to be here, but she's my wife. And basically we train pilots from as young as 7 years old all the way to 54 years old.
Amazing. So maybe you can share with us, we would love to know how you actually started Aviation and what were you doing before that?
Understand.
Yeah.
So before this, I was a lot doing in Seletar, a lot on the private jet sector and as a ground crew. So initially when I was in Singapore, the only thing that I thought of aviation was airlines and Air Force. And then when I started working at Seletar, it's mind blown. It's a whole new world of aviation, correct? So that opened up my mindset of there's more than just airlines and Air Force. We call this general aviation. Yeah, so and then I started working there. I worked for a few flight schools as a junior instructor as well. And then it all started when my wife asked this question. So my wife's an early childhood educator.
Okay.
She asked me this: how come nobody teach kids? So that's where it all started out. She created the syllabus with my expertise in the aviation industry. So that's where it started off with the youth and kids.
Yeah.
And then we also wanted to find an alternative for adults to learn flying at a cheaper cost as well.
I see. So that sparked an idea to actually start off Aviation Flight School.
Correct. So we started off very small. One room, all the simulators were inside. And we didn't only want to do flying. There are other people who wants to do air traffic controlling, engineer, ground crew, and so on. Yeah. So we started to diversify the knowledge to fit basically the whole aviation industry.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's amazing to know that like there's someone in our own community who actually owns this business in the aviation line. Right? And me myself, I was actually in aerospace.
Oh, okay.
I was in aerospace, but only for a year. Yeah, only for a year. So I learned about fixing the helicopter, doing a lot of case reports,
Good stuff.
soldering and all that. So I was kind of have a goal to actually want to be a pilot one day when I was in aerospace.
Understand?
But I also didn't know whether it's possible or not, right? So now I know that it is actually possible to actually have a license in Singapore.
Sure.
So I didn't know that it's possible. I thought that it's only for someone who actually has certain cert or that kind of thing.
It kind of works both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah. But previously, before aviation and things like that, things were a bit more stricter on the black and white qualifications and so on. So, and again, like I mentioned, most of us are restricted by this aviation in Singapore.
Yeah.
So being able to bring overseas aviation into Singapore and exposing them gives them a better opportunity to look elsewhere to actually try and obtain their licensing as well.
I see. So you were saying that you actually started with just one small classroom.
Correct.
Right. But before you actually started that, what was the process like to start off Aviation Flight School?
Understand. So initially it was always the funding.
Yeah, always the funding. The teaching
is always an issue. So we had to look out for investors. Fortunately, we have an angel investor.
I see.
So that comes the planning. I still remember. So the first day we come in, heart is beating.
Because you need to present and propose, right?
Correct. And then this is also my first business venture as well.
Oh, it was your first.
Correct.
Oh, I see.
So it's really a whole nervous experience and so on. But managed to impress him. Since we are the only one doing it, we started off with quite low funds because at that time, whatever you say, yes, I accept.
Okay, I understand.
Moment,
yeah.
So then we had to work our way through, which basically we had to learn the different skills.
Okay.
So what I mean, if I want to outsource marketing, it's cost.
It's cost, yeah.
So we got to learn it ourselves, got to learn the jargons and everything and figure things out. So along the way, you as a business owner, you have to be learning a lot of these skills, I believe. And of course, looking at the market, planning ahead and so on.
So basically, it's the basic fundamentals of business lah.
Correct. But for me, I had to learn it while on the job lah. Yeah, so meaning if I fall down, I fall down.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had to learn how to come back.
So when you started right away, you already have an investor.
Yes.
Oh, that's actually. Oh, but the thing is, did your investor actually guide you through?
Yes.
I think that's the good thing about having an investor.
Correct. So it's like investor / mentor kind of thing.
Because some of the business they do have an investor,
Correct.
but it's just a silent one.
Correct.
They just put in money, right, and that's so that you can actually start, but you are doing it yourself. There's no guide, no mentor, no nothing. But the good thing is your investor actually guide you through.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
So
then friends. So my wife has business experience.
okay.
So she is with the business. I'm the worker lah.
You take off the operations more.
Correct. So operation side of things is us, and then she does all the branding, the marketing works.
Oh, that's it.
So all of this facility and branding, everything is all done by her and her team lah.
So your wife, before you guys started, you mentioned that she was an educator.
Correct. She was an early childhood educator, teaching in a few preschools, was supposed to be doing principal and so on. And then she moved on into a bit of the aviation industry on the customer service side. And then after that, she started this venture with me to open up aviation.
So she also took that leap of faith to quit her job also. So when you actually started aviation, did you already quit your job, or because some people would actually still be in their full time while they run their business as a side,
Correct.
right? So what do you guys do?
So we actually left our jobs, okay, and her mindset was if I spend so much time in generating X amount of money in a full-time job, I can use that time to generate X amount of money in the other job itself. So we actually took that leap of faith. Was it scary? Yes.
Obviously, it's scary, especially in Singapore.
Correct. So at that time also, we started at about 20, for me I was about 25, 24. Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
So at that moment, you must understand, friends start getting full-time jobs.
Wait, what was I doing when I was 24?
Same as playing soccer and things like that. So, so when you look at their Instagram, they're eating nice food.
Yeah,
Then they were like, I'm eating prata for lunch because I can't afford it at that moment in time. So then that kind of also played with our mindset.
I see.
Why are we doing this? Why don't we just get a full-time job and then we are secure, you know? So start to play with our mind. So 6 months in, we actually had the thought of
Giving up.
closing. Because this licensing that we're bringing in, these programs are all very new. It's thought out here. So some people even thought that we are scam school.
Oh.
Because we are very low costing.
Yeah.
You know, how is that possible and things like that. So at that 6 months mark, we say, okay, you know what? Let's invest in heavily in marketing. We got to pay to earn money. So that's when we went for it, and we started to have more and more people. And then one of the major breakthrough was previously in Berita Harian in Straits Times and everything. There was the first ITE girl who got a licensing. Her name was Hazika.
Oh, okay. I think I saw the article.
Correct. So from there we actually boomed down.
Boom.
Yeah, and then that's when we started. Okay, no, this is not too bad. Let's continue doing it, and then all the way until where we are now.
Yeah, and you even upgraded to a new place now.
New facility. Yes. Previously maxed out our old facility. Too many people. So
Previously it was at Ubi.
Correct.
Now it's at Kallang Place.
So you're actually one of the first few guests.
Honored.
Yeah.
I am honored, totally honored. Yeah. So other than that, you actually mentioned that you actually wanted to quit.
Correct.
6 months in.
Yeah.
It's only 6 months in.
Yeah.
Did you actually told your investor that you wanted to no, never?
Correct. So not really. So the good thing about our investor was he gave us a bit of a lead time before we paid him back. But one of the things that really hit us was for food, we had to share to the point where we had to share cup noodles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to see, I need to calculate, my expenses and everything. So that was the point where, like, is this really worth doing and, doing all that? So
And you already had your own place? Yeah, own house?
So we're still staying with the parents.
Okay.
So the parents' house was / an office and
Everything lah.
yeah, everything was there as well.
So it was definitely a journey that you wouldn't forget at all. Sampai share cup noodles.
Yeah, for lunch or
Yeah.
prata.
Oh, prata.
is cheap and then it's filling. Yeah, so that was the common food that we had to ration.
So what was the conversation with you and your wife when you guys were like sharing that those noodles, those prata?
Oh, we went down like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
When look at this, wow, they eating at restaurant,
Yeah.
wherever, and then you're like, that's true.
That's yeah.
Yeah, and then all the negative uncertainties from the future comes in, which makes sense. You know, am I gonna be like that for the next couple of years?
Yep.
Yeah, career progression, you know, and things like that. So at that moment, she was my girlfriend. You know,
And now I've like
and that leads to the point of,
I see.
how do we then proceed forward and then
Oh,
things like that,
okay.
you know.
What's the future about relationship and all that?
Correct. So that uncertainties cloud over the positivities.
I see. Oh, obviously, if I were to be in that position, I really don't know whether what I'm gonna do. I cannot even imagine.
Correct. So I think it takes two hands to clap. So
Yeah.
lucky she has more of the positive vibes than me.
Okay.
So she saw the potential of what it can be developed.
Yeah.
And of course, friends and families will come in and say, hey, you know, this has a lot of potential and things like that. So that actually pushed us to carry on past that 6 months.
So during that facing that situation, right? What do you think was the main mistakes that you guys actually did in terms of the business fundamental wise?
So at that moment, it was more of go je.
Go je.
Yeah, no proper planning. Just jump
Just jump.
into it, correct? So there wasn't really much planning of what we're going to do, what's the backup plan if this doesn't work, what's the marketing strategy and things like that.
There's no target, no nothing.
Correct. So it's more of, for me personally, it's more of me testing waters in the business
I see.
world. So if I had a chance to actually go back, it would be more of taking time off to plan.
Plan out.
So sometimes at that moment, we just want to do. People inquiring, I have to do this,
Yeah.
but there's no time to sit down and actually plan out everything properly. So I think on that mistake, once that we overcome that 6 months mark, I think we realized that we need to take a step back and to see how to distribute the funds, do which part and things like that, and then things getting much organized and
So budget allocation was and the money management,
correct, planning ahead.
planning ahead.
Correct. What do you want, or which direction do you want the business to end up going towards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the target?
What's the target? So once you achieve that particular target, that branding, and then when you start hiring people will then follow that branding and guidelines.
Right.
Yeah, or the SOPs that's been put in place.
Yeah. So technically, you guys actually jump off a cliff and build a plane on the way down.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That's a good metaphor.
Correct. So you can pretty much say it like that.
Right. Oh my god.
So lucky we didn't crash.
Crazy, yeah.
Almost crashed. Yeah. But it's a good learning point.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. But really amazing. Okay. So you started in 2018.
2018, correct.
So 2019 to 2020 it was the period, the pandemic period.
Correct.
So how did you guys actually survive during that period?
Okay, that was a hard period. Things had to change in terms of strategy a lot.
Yeah.
So lucky for us, at that time period, we rely a lot more on the kids and the youth because they are not affected by travels. So what happens to our adults is they do their training here in Singapore and then they have to go over to Australia to get their flying license.
Okay.
So at that moment, no travel.
Yeah, no travel, not able to go to Australia.
Correct. So adults program was more of a standstill, right? We previously had about 12, 13 students per intake. It dropped down to like 1, 2 only, correct? But fortunately, we were still running the kids and youth program.
Yep.
So Zoom classes, we had to then build on brand awareness at that time period. So we were inviting speakers from like bush pilots from US, air traffic controllers from Dubai. We were doing it on Zoom. So we will still keep that branding alive. And it was tough, but luckily we had planned for this unknowing circumstances. So we still managed to survive through with the classes that's still happening, government support and everything. So,
But it was definitely a scary time,
yep,
right?
it was. We were just trying to stay
But
afloat.
during that time, you guys felt like giving up again.
Not really.
Not really, yeah, because you guys plan out.
Correct. We have a database of customers, current customer pool that Inco was, I think they liked what we're doing and wanted to stick with us. So we know that at least there's still some income coming in from that part.
Yeah, that's why retention is very important.
It's customer retention.
Have to
Customer service.
Yes, customer service, customer retention, to remind them that you guys exist.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very, very important for any business also actually.
Correct.
Yeah.
Agree?
So maybe you can actually share with me in terms of the business aspect for someone who actually wants to start up their own business. Right? You've gone through this phase where
correct.
you try and error. You almost felt like giving up. So what would your number one advice be for someone who actually wants to take the leap of faith and start a business?
Do your business proposal properly. What usually helps to determine a person to take the leap of faith is numbers. So if you can run your cash flow properly, you can see. I mean, run it reasonably, not like 100 people will come on my first day, that kind of numbers. So
it has to be realistic.
Realistic.
It's
correct.
a smart goal.
Correct. So once you have that cash flow, inflow, outflow, then that will give you a better idea. Am I ready to take this leap of faith and so on? So market study is one, whether it's a saturated market, what makes your product or services above the rest. And number two, for me, before starting out, take a calculated risk, which is then doing that cash flow. When you see numbers, that's when you start to panic. Same like when I see my ATM zero, that's when I start to look for work. So make sure you have all of that done, and then that will give you a better idea of should you take the leap of faith, and then use that KPIs are the goals that you need to meet for your business to continue and develop.
Talking about this,
Yes.
I'm sure you face like doubts from other people. That there'll be other people who actually other people's opinions about what you are starting, which is you are the first you are the first Malay to actually start off this business.
Correct.
Right. So what kind of opinions that you actually face from the people around you, and how do you actually cope and overcome that?
There were some negativities. For my family side, we never done business before.
Oh, I see.
So my parents would be like, are you sure you can do it?
So you're the first millionaire.
Hopefully. So that doubts, more of friends so far has been very supportive.
Oh, I see.
They've been
Friends,
giving it and so on. But I think more of members of the public, sometimes you can see that doubt in them. But then the only thing that runs through my mind is everybody will doubt a person, but when the person managed to become successful, and then suddenly, I know that person.
Oh, yeah, correct.
So it's always a struggle to start up something new, but make sure you make it successful, and then people start to go, I know him. I used to talk to him last time. That kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind. Everybody will find a new service weird, but once you believe in it, you can sell it, and it starts to become something very popular, and then people's mindset will change.
Correct.
So if you believe in your product and your services, go for it.
Believe in the product and the services.
Correct. Of course, it must meet the market demand. It's not just your opinion.
Correct.
So meet the market demands. You see the potential. You see that growth in it in the future.
Other than believing in your product and service and doing market research, what would your advice be if someone actually is in the progress to actually plan out to take that leap of faith, right? They are starting their business ready, and there's a lot of opinions around them, right? So what would you actually advise them to do or to think?
Listen to the opinions.
Okay.
Listen to the positive, listen to the negative. Positive, yes, it of course helps you to build your morale, right, and so on. Negative, that gives you an opening to improve. Okay, you see something negative. Yes, I agree. Okay, now what can I do to overcome that? Then you will capture that negative person's interest and everything. So take every opportunity as negativity plus there's a silver lining out of it. Yeah. So use that to strengthen your own perspective or strength.
So in a way, they have to accept criticism
Yep.
in a good way lah.
Correct. So if you tell me I'm not handsome, that's true. I'm not handsome.
Hey, okay, you look good.
That's reverse,
You look good, bro.
So another way is how do you think I can improve myself? Yeah. So take it and accept the criticism.
Yeah.
I think the first thing to awareness is you must accept that some stuff is good, some stuff is not good.
Yep.
You need to accept that and then see how to improve it.
Yeah, I think because that's the thing about most people. They don't accept criticism well. Right? They look at it in another perspective where, oh my God, this guy actually saying bad things about me.
Correct.
So I have to block my ears and ignore whatever he's trying to say. Right.
I mean, it's not related to whatever you're doing, then maybe yes.
Yeah.
But of course, it's related, then yes. But bear in mind, these people who are saying all this, they have done whatever they say won't affect. What I mean, it's not gonna stop you. Yeah, you will see them change when you go you're up there, and then things start changing. Suddenly, hey, hello, how are you? Start to
Correct.
yeah. So negative outside factors won't affect you. Just do whatever you're doing. Just do whatever you're doing. Just keep it in your circle. You can change what's around you or yourself, but you cannot change the outside circle. So within yourself.
So it's yourself that you have to change lah, in a way.
Correct.
You have to accept criticism. You
Correct.
have to stop blaming others and start blaming yourself first.
Yep.
And check what how can I improve? What mistake did I do, and all that, so that we can be a better version of ourselves.
Correct. Exactly. Short form.
Short form.
Somebody.
Somebody. Yeah. So okay, talking about criticism, right? For business owners out there. Okay. Just now we were talking about aspiring entrepreneurs.
Correct.
Now we talk about the current business owners and entrepreneurs. I think most of them, they have trouble with manpower.
Okay. Yeah.
Manpower, staffing, handling their staffs, right? Because you actually mentioned about the criticism part, right? How do you think we could actually, business owners out there can actually criticize the staff better, right? Because I feel that a lot of staff, like for myself, right? I have been in an employee for quite a while. Yourself also previously.
Yep.
So we know that some of our colleagues wouldn't accept criticism that well from our bosses.
Yep.
So how do you think that the bosses now should actually approach their staffs?
I think one of the things is understanding. Now, we might not know what is going on the employee's side of things. It might seem little to us, but it might be affecting them a lot. So you have to understand what is their situation first. Then, of course, comes the chance. Now, do you train him properly or her? You cannot be training them wrongly and then expecting to blame them later on. Yeah? And then, of course, you can criticize nicely. You don't need to bomb everything out there one shot. But for me, what I always do is always give solutions.
Give solutions.
So I give you this, let's try to fix it this certain way. Okay? If you're still making the same mistake, we can correct it, but there must be a number of limits that
of course,
that you must be stern and things like that. But what I always do is always give solution. Sometimes I don't give a direct answer, more of you try out this thing and then report back to me and things like that. So I think feedback can be given, but they are stuck. So we need to give them that solution to unstuck them and then rediscover their journey into that as well. Yeah.
So recently I actually read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
So one of the skill that they actually taught us is in terms of criticizing someone, right, or your staff, or it could be anyone, even your friends that you always hang around with, and you actually want to help them, but they feel that it's a very bad criticism. The number one skill is to the way is to actually start off with a compliment, right? Don't look only on the negative part that they did, the mistake that they did.
Correct.
Start with a compliment. then you criticize, then after that you end it with a compliment.
Correct.
Like, so they will actually receive it well
Yes.
because we acknowledge whatever good things that they do.
Correct.
But also, we also mention about the mistake that they did, and they are willing to improve themselves.
So I think we feel it, I don't know, our generation parents is more of negative.
Yeah, correct.
Negative. And then and that obviously didn't make us feel good. Yeah. So exact same situation or scenarios that you bring over to exactly same thing. So always find out what's the problem, compliment, know their side of the story first, and then you judge, don't just bring in through one side of the story, and then criticism, and then back to compliments or solutions. For me, I agree.
Yeah. So, okay, I think I want to know more about how I can actually become a pilot. I can become a pilot. Right? So anyone can become a pilot. Right? So is there any minimum requirement to be a pilot?
So for us, if you want to become a pilot here in Singapore in terms of a job, we always recommend 3 things.
What do you mean by a job?
So it means you earn money out of it.
Oh, I can fly to earn money.
Yeah. So there's a recreational pilot where you fly for fun. Right. And you pay all the cost of the fuel and everything. Or you are a commercial pilot where you get paid for flying. So for those who wants to get paid to fly or a dream career, there's always 3 steps we want you to follow. Okay, step number 1, always go for cadetships. Sponsorship.
Okay.
Correct. Because for your own commercial licensing, it's going to cost you $150,000.
Oh my God.
Okay? Plus, there's no confirmation of a job.
No confirmation.
No confirmation of a job. And in Singapore's market, you only have the airlines. If you don't get in, you're pretty much left hanging.
Oh my.
And if you ask me, can you apply overseas? Can, but usually we are foreigners overseas.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So always go for cadetships where they'll pay everything for you, and then they will give you the job afterwards. So who can do this? Singapore Airlines and Air Force.
I see.
So the only 2. Okay, if let's say you fail the interview, okay, what's my next option? Okay, next option is what we call self-sponsor.
Self-sponsor, okay.
So not to find a private school, but to go with the airline. So in Singapore's case, will be Scoot or Jetstar.
I see.
So basically, Scoot say you want to join me, Ken. I charge you $180,000, but I also sign a letter of intention of hiring you.
So you are locked. It's like a bond.
It's like a bond, but it's not 100%. But let's say you pass, there's no COVID situation and everything, very likely that you get the job afterwards.
I see.
So at least you pay the money, you got a job.
Yeah.
The last option is then going through your own private schools overseas and so on. But make sure before you embark on this journey, you're financially healthy.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people who take bank loans, come out, no job.
Oh my God.
It's very difficult.
Bank loans for license.
Correct. To fund their licensing. So don't be surprised, some Grab drivers are actually license holders. It's just because they need to pay back the loan. So they need to find a job to able to accommodate that.
I think they took their leap of faith in the wrong way.
Not really wrong. It's more of time. So time is not on their side. Because time and money gets paid together. So hopefully by the next few years, some of them took 6 years, 7 years later, then they get a job as a pilot and so on. So what we do is what we call a recreational pilot certificate. Okay, basically at the end of the day, you will have to fly 15 hours with an instructor dual and 5 hours solo.
Okay.
And the minimum age to fly is 15.
15 years old, you can fly.
So you've got some Sec 3 and Sec 4 boys and girls who are actually license holders, through their parents around and everything. And most of them are using... That's the dream, correct. And most of them are using this as a resume booster to go into Singapore Airlines or the Air Force or Scoot and so on.
So how much is that?
So everything is going to cost you about 16.5K.
16.5K.
Right. And that includes your training here in Singapore, Australia, accommodation, flight ticket, transport, visa, insurance, everything. Except for food.
16.5K. And you, where can I fly?
So a lot of your flying is done over in Australia.
Okay.
So you don't fly here in Singapore just because it's very expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive here.
Right. So again, if you're asking me then, if I don't fly in Singapore, why am I taking this licensing? A lot of them use it as a resume booster. Qualifications, now they got black and white and they can fly.
So it's like a foundation program to the commercial license.
Correct. So that's my advice. Go for those 3 STEM. So for those young ones, maths, science, English, geography are the things that you need to keep in place lah.
I see. Interesting. So, if let's say I have a recreational license and I want to convert it to a commercial license, is it still the same price, 150?
It is. It's going to eventually cost you about that pricing, $150K to $200,000. Yeah, because from wherever you left off, you got to build up the hours.
Correct.
All the way to the commercial licensing.
I see. So how can I? Is there any requirement that is there? Because last time I still remember that pilots have to have needs to have perfect eyesight,
Correct.
and you need to be in a particular height. Like myself, I'm short, right? Yeah, I'm short.
Okay.
So is there any requirement?
There is. If I remember, height requirement is 162 cm. Eyesight now is 600 degrees for myopic and 200 for astig. Okay? But more important is the qualifications. So O levels plus a diploma or an A levels, or even better, a degree as well. So those are the basic, of course, healthy. Yeah, for you to pass your medical.
To pass the medical.
Correct.
So those are the requirements.
Correct. So medical will be quite strict. Things like cholesterol, diabetes. You don't want a pilot fly halfway then.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So that's number one requirement.
So it's we have a batch here.
Yep.
Right. So which is which actually?
Okay. So the batch that you see in front of you is actually our aviator program.
Yep.
So aviators are those for each primary school and secondary school. So we do train them at the age as well.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, my wife is the early childhood educator.
Correct.
So we actually created a syllabus for that. So for the bronze, they start off with a beginner, so it's about a 1 year course. So these students at 7 and 8 years old, they come in uniforms as well.
7, 8 years old is what? Primary 1?
Primary 1, Primary 2, they come in uniform. Some of them bring aviator shirts in class, yeah. So once they finish their 1 year, they get their first stripe together with their beginners, and then the intermediate will be 2 stripes plus their silver, and then finally the advanced will be the gold as well. So and then they move on to our youth and our actual licensing itself.
Seems amazing.
Yep.
So if I were to actually want to have a pilot license, I can just go through you.
Yeah. Look out for us, aviation.
Aviation. Or you guys can actually comment down aviation in the comment section below, and I'll actually send you a DM link.
Yep. So bear in mind,
Your website.
Correct. They're also entitled, or everyone's entitled for a free consultation and a free simulator trial as well.
Yeah.
So later in the B-rolls, you guys can have a look at the simulator. Pretty cool experience. So that will be fun.
I can actually try it out later.
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. Okay, maybe before we end the interview, one last question. If you could actually turn back time when you were 20-year-old, a younger Faris,
Yes.
what would you say or advise to him?
Okay, I will say, Faris, look at the world in a bigger perspective. So one of the mistakes that I did was, parents being parents, they'll ask you to study. Correct. But that narrowed my field of vision to just that. And then when I met my wife or girlfriend at that time, she totally changed my mind when she said, oh, there's things like this, that's how you be money smart, that's how you be this technology smart and things like that. I'm like, wow, there's actually things that I missed out a lot. So at that moment, I would tell myself to open up your learning opportunities to other than just pilot, school, and things like that. Because these are skills that is required out there in the working world.
Awesome. All right. I think it's definitely an inspiring story from taking that leap of faith, leaving your job just like that, and having an investor at the start. Oh my God, that's every entrepreneur's punya nightmare. True. Sharing a Maggie cup, sharing prata during your lowest
point of time. Correct.
And now look where you are now. Yeah, I'm definitely really proud of you, and especially when our community, right? It's very rare. You are the only person who actually does this. Yeah.
And then everybody has dreams. Go for it. Don't let the external factors, community-wise, stop you and things like that. Just go for it. and there will be good people that will be supporting you in whichever path you go lah.
All right, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
sir.
sharing, and it's been an honor.
No problem. Thank you for coming now. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try out the simulator
Yeah,
later.
so let's leave the camera behind. And
Okay, so before we go, don't forget to click the follow button, subscribe, and yeah, before that, if you want to actually go for a free consultation at Aviation, comment down Aviation in the comment section below, and we will DM you a link to Faris. Right.
Correct.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out through now.